What were the Sabbath and monthly offerings under the law of Moses? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Numbers on Walking Through the Bible. If you have a Bible with you, you can turn to Numbers 28. We're going to be reading from verses 9 to 15. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Numbers 28, beginning of verse 9. And on the Sabbath day 2 lambs in their first year, without blemish, and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering, mixed with oil, with its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering. At the beginnings of your months, you shall present a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs in their first year without blemish. 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for each bull. 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil for 1 ram. And 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering for each lamb, as a burnt offering of sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. Their drink offering shall be 1/2 a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin for a lamb. This is the burnt offering for each month throughout the months of the year. Also 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering to the Lord shall be offered, besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. In this chapter and the next, we're dealing with the instructions for the different types of regular offerings that were to be made to the Lord, on top of other offerings that may be made by the people at different times. We studied about the daily offerings, and a lamb would be offered in the morning, along with the grain offering and the drink offering. This would also be repeated in the evening, for as long as the law of Moses was in effect. We said that if we count the time in captivity to the time that Jesus died on the cross, about 1,079,670 lambs would have been offered as part of the daily sacrifice. But as we have seen even in today's reading and further on down, there were more regular sacrifices that would be offered. Each Sabbath day, there were special sacrifices to be offered that went above and beyond the daily sacrifices. Let's remind ourselves of what the Sabbath day was by reading Exodus 20, verses 8 to 11. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. The Sabbath day was a day of rest from labor. However, it did not mean that the priests rested on this day from offering sacrifices. Wouldn't this mean that they would be breaking the Sabbath? No, because they were doing the necessary things that God had commanded be done, and thus, even though if a normal person did this, they would be breaking the Sabbath, the priests would not. That's why Jesus clashed with the Pharisees so much in the gospel concerning the Sabbath. For the Pharisees did not always apply the Sabbath principles consistently, not realizing that absolutely necessary work was not condemned to be done by God. So on top of the daily sacrifices on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs without blemish in their first year would be offered, along with a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, double the amount of the morning sacrifice, and its drink offering, which we will learn from verse 7 would have been doubled in proportions as well, just as the grain offering was. So, assuming these instructions were given at Mount Sinai, but only revealed to us here, that means that every year 104 lambs would be offered as Sabbath day offerings. From Sinai to Christ, if we include the period of captivity, that means that about 153,860 lambs would have been offered for this purpose, bringing our running total of regular sacrificial lambs to about 1,233,486. But then, beginning in verse 11, we come to the regular monthly sacrifices. On the first of every month, burnt offerings of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish were to be offered, along with 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for each bull, 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for the ram, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for each lamb of the grain offering. The drink offering would be half a hin of wine for a bull, 1/3 of a hin of oil for a ram, and 1/4 of a hin of oil for the lamb. Why the difference in proportions? It appeared that it had to do with the size of the animal being offered. A bull was the largest animal, so it would require the largest grain and drink offering. A ram was larger than a lamb, but smaller than a bull, so the grain and drink offering for it fell in between that for the bull and the lamb. And since the lamb was the smallest, it required the smallest grain and drink offering. Along with these sacrifices, 1 kid of the goats was also to be offered at the beginning of the month as a sin offering. Let's then add these sacrifices to our running total. Let's again assume that these instructions were given at Mount Sinai and were not interrupted during the captivity. So from then until Christ died on the cross, Israel would have offered about 1,357,722 lambs, 35,496 bulls, 17,748 rams, and 17,748 goats as part of their regular sacrifices. And we haven't yet got to the sacrifices that occurred at the yearly feasts, nor have we included the sacrifices that people offered during the year. That is a lot of sacrifices to be offered, but not one of them remitted sin. Only the blood of Christ, offered once for all, can truly do that, an awesome sacrifice indeed. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Numbers 28, verses 16 to 25, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.